Hey, it's Drew Nizer with another Tuesday tip. There was a really interesting conversation in CMO Huddles today. We started with sort of some interesting topics just about SEO and SEM, and then migrated to the conversation of brand. And there is a connection between SEO and brand. But first up, Chip Rogers, Workspan, what is your tip for sort of selling brand, maybe without even calling it brand?
Yeah, great question, Drew. And we actually don't have, I think the question was, do you have a budget that's labeled brand? And we don't, but we do have a lot of brand kinds of activities that we do for category creation. And I think it's really about getting influencers, getting the market to understand about the broader market and the new category that's being created. And then you sort of inherit some of that through that process.
Got it. So we're not going to call it brand, but if we call it category creation and we are in that category, we can get some funding for that kind of activity. Okay. Yep. Patti Newcomer, FieldRoutes.
I mean, I think the other thing is we're not building brands just for the sake of it. We're not building brands just for grins. We're building brands to drive the business. So making sure we're clear with our leaders and our peers about what is the benefit, what is the business impact that it has. And then I think not just being focused on brand awareness, but what kind of brand are you building and can it serve the kind of customers that you aspire to serve, and how does that change over time? So for example, if you move from SMB to mid-market and up and enterprise, can your brand take you into that space? And so that can be something that the business buys into as well.
Right. I'm going to boil it down to what you said is you have to have mechanisms in place to prove business value. And then within those mechanisms, if you are going, say, from small to larger companies, you need to be able to bring that awareness with you and some understanding of what the business is. Okay. And Boyd Spotlight, what is your tip here?
All right. Well, I think brand is really the grease for the whole entire funnel. So it's an essential component. I like to think of it as an accelerant. So whatever we're doing, it should be helping optimize our performance. And I think one of the ways, a small tip from a board perspective, they've really gravitated towards the idea of thought leadership and share a voice that informs and improves our ability to reach the right people, the decision makers, and increase the velocity of deals.
Love it. Okay, so we have three so far. We've got category development, thought leadership, support the business. Dean Nicolls, Oosto, what's your tip?
My tip is it's not completely disconnected from demand gen. And so when we're making media buys, we're also able to negotiate editorial placements. We're also able to negotiate webinars and things that can drive demand as well as awareness. So they don't have to be completely disconnected. The whole point of it all is to help salespeople, in our opinion, to open doors. So at least when they arrive and they knock on the door, they've heard of the name, right? And the name actually means something and stands for something. And use the best term, it's the grease that greases the whole pipeline. And I absolutely agree with that as well.
All right. Well, that was sort of the third euphemism, which is air cover, right? Is the air cover for the sales folks. All right. Great tips. For those of you who have never heard of CMO Huddles, visit CMOHuddles.com. We are bringing together brilliant thought leaders every week to talk about the most pressing issues of the day. I'm Drew Nizer. That's your Tuesday tip. We'll see you next week.